of aisle 7 flickered twice before going dark. Kareem froze mid-step. Around him, morning shoppers pushed carts past towering displays of organic snacks priced at $19 a bag. The marble floor beneath his worn sneakers gleamed like ice. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan's skyline pressed against a gray December sky, glass towers filled with people who'd never scrubbed a floor in their lives. He pulled his baseball cap lower. Nobody looked at him. Not the security guard scrolling through his phone near the entrance. Not the cashiers arranging their registers with mechanical precision. Not the well-dressed woman in the produce section who stepped around him like he was furniture. Perfect. Hi friend, before we continue the story, kindly tell us where are you watching from. And hit that subscribe button now for you to get more, and I have something new for you tomorrow. Stay tuned. Thanks. Let's continue. 3 weeks ago, someone had sent him an email. No signature. No return address. Just 8 words that kept him awake at night. Asterisk, your stores are bleeding people dry. Check payroll, asterisk. Now he stood in his own flagship location wearing a hoodie that smelled like cheap detergent, and nobody recognized him. Not even the assistant manager who'd presented him with a Crystal Award last quarter for operational excellence. That's when he heard it. Crying. Not the loud, dramatic kind. The kind that happened when someone had already tried to stop and couldn't anymore. It came from behind a door marked employees only near the back corridor. Kareem glanced around. A stock boy wheeled past with boxes stacked to his chin. 2 customers argued over the last carton of oat milk. Nobody noticed the door. Nobody cared. He moved toward it. The sound got clearer. A woman. Trying to muffle sobs that kept breaking through anyway. Something silver caught the light on the floor. A name badge. Rosalie Fermin, facilities staff. Kareem picked it up. The plastic was warm, like she'd been clutching it. He raised his hand to knock, then stopped. Through the crack under the door, he could see shadow moving. Pacing. The kind of pacing people did when they were trying to hold themselves together and failing. He knocked soft. 3 times. The crying stopped instantly. Silence stretched for 5 seconds. 10. Then a voice came through, thin and shaking. I can't be late. Please. I just need 1 more minute, later. She was crying in a storage closet and worried about being late. Kareem kept his voice low. I'm not management. I work here too. More silence. He heard her breathing on the other side of the door. Fast. Shallow. Are you okay? He asked. The lock clicked. The door opened 3 inches. The woman standing there looked like she'd aged 10 years overnight. Dark circles hung under eyes so red they looked painful. Her uniform was wrinkled. Her hands shook as they gripped the door frame, knuckles pale. I'm sorry, she whispered. I shouldn't be, I need to get back to. What happened? She swallowed hard. Her gaze dropped to the floor. They took my hours. Who did? Management. The word came out like a curse. Like saying it too loud would make something worse happen. Kareem handed her the name badge. Their fingers touched for half a second. Hers were ice cold despite the building's heating system pumping warm air through the vents. How many hours? He asked. All my overtime. 3 months of it. My time card says I worked them. But my paycheck, she pressed her lips together. Tears rolled down her face again. My mama needs dialysis. The insurance won't cover all of it. I picked up every extra shift they offered. I did everything right. Her voice cracked on the last word. But the money's not there. They keep saying it's a system error. That compliance flagged my attendance. That there were penalties I didn't know about. Kareem felt something cold settle in his chest. Penalties for what? She shook her head. I don't know. They gave me papers I couldn't understand. I asked questions and they said if I kept pushing they'd have to escalate to upper management. Did you stop asking? She nodded. How much are they shorting you? Her answer came out in a whisper. $287. Every paycheck. The fluorescent light above them buzzed. Somewhere in the store, a price scanner beeped. A manager's voice came over the intercom reminding employees about inventory procedures. Rosalie wiped her face with the back of her hand. I should go. My shift starts in 4 minutes. She tried to close the door. Kareem caught it. Wait. What's your manager's name? She froze. Fear flashed across her face, real fear, the kind that came from experience. Why? I just need to know. She hesitated. Her eyes searched his face like she was trying to decide if he was safe or another trap waiting to spring. Finally, she whispered one word. Blaine. Then she stepped past him and disappeared into the fluorescent maze of aisles, leaving Kareem standing alone in the corridor with her name badge still in his hand. He looked down at it. Then he looked toward the manager's office at the far end of the store. And something inside him went very, very. Blaine Hargree stood behind the customer service desk like he owned the air itself. He didn't shout. Didn't rush. Didn't even raise his voice. He just stood there with perfect posture and a smile that never quite reached his eyes, scrolling through his tablet with the calm precision of a man who knew exactly how much power he had. Kareem watched him from 3 aisles away. Tall. Late 40s. Salt and pepper hair styled like he'd just stepped out of a Forbes photo shoot. His suit probably cost more than Rosalie made in 2 months. When he moved, people got out of his way without him having to ask. A stock boy approached him holding a damaged box. Mr. Hargree, the shipment from. Not now, Deshawn. The stock boy's face fell. But you said to report any. I said not now. Blaine didn't even look up from his tablet. The stock boy stood there for 3 seconds, waiting for something, an explanation, maybe, or just acknowledgement that he existed. When nothing came, he walked away with his shoulders hunched. Kareem felt his jaw tighten. He grabbed a shopping basket and drifted closer, pretending to examine overpriced protein bars while keeping Blaine in his peripheral vision. An elderly woman approached the desk with a receipt. Blaine's customer service smile activated instantly. How can I help you today, ma'am? I was charged twice for. I see. Let me look into that for you. His fingers moved. Now he had 1,100 stores across 9 states and didn't know the name of a single person crying in his storage closets. He logged into the company's internal system using an executive access code only 5 people in the world had. The screen loaded. He navigated to payroll. Then to the compliance module, something he'd never personally examined because he trusted the people he hired to build it. Big mistake. The interface looked normal at first. Standard HR software. Employee names. Hours worked. Pay rates. Nothing unusual. Then he saw a tab labeled Risk Assessment Protocol. He clicked it. A new window opened. His stomach dropped. It was a filtering system. Employees sorted by vulnerability metrics. Medical dependents. Single parents. Low credit scores. Immigration status. Late rent payments. Outstanding debt. Every person who couldn't afford to lose their job. Every person who'd stay quiet. Next to each flagged employee was a percentage. Wage reduction percentage. The system was automatically docking their pay. Kareem scrolled through pages of names. Hundreds of them across dozens of stores. Los Angeles. Miami. Seattle. Boston. Dallas. San Francisco. Washington, D.C. His stores. His people. Being systematically robbed. He clicked on Rosalia's profile. Risk tier, 4, high vulnerability, asterisk. Dependent, mother, age 68, chronic kidney disease asterisk. Financial stress indicators, 12 asterisk. Wage adjustment, -15% asterisk. Total diverted, $4,387 over 18 weeks asterisk. $4,000. Stolen in pieces so small she'd barely notice each one. A few dollars here. A penalty there. An unexplained deduction. Death by 1,000 cuts designed to look like administrative errors. But where was the money going? He dug deeper. Found a secondary ledger buried 3 layers down in the system architecture. A holding account labeled Operational Efficiency Reserve. It had $2.3 million in it. The money wasn't going to the company. It was going to individuals. He cross-referenced the account withdrawals with employee records. 12 regional managers. Monthly performance bonuses that didn't match any official compensation structure. Blaine Hargree, $47,000 in the last 6 months. Kareem sat back. His phone buzzed. A text from his assistant. Board meeting moved to Thursday. They want Q4 projections, asterisk. He ignored it. His phone buzzed again. Different number. Unknown. You're asking the wrong questions, asterisk. Kareem stared at the screen. He typed back. Who is this? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Someone who knows what you're looking for. Check the source code. Module 7. Look for adjustment triggers. Asterisk. Then nothing. Kareem pulled up the system's back end. Found Module 7. The code was dense, thousands of lines of automated instructions that governed payroll processing. And there it was. Hidden inside what looked like routine compliance checking was a trigger function. If an employee met certain criteria. Medical dependent, financial stress, minority status, single parent, the system automatically flagged them. Then it slowly reduced their wages. A little at a time. Over months. And generated fake explanations. System errors. Compliance penalties. Attendance deductions. All automated. All invisible. All designed by someone who understood exactly how to exploit the people who could least afford to fight back. Kareem's hands shook. He'd built this company on one principle. Treat people right and they'll be loyal forever. Now his own system was being weaponized against the most vulnerable workers in America. His phone buzzed again. Blaine's not the architect. He's just a user. If you want the architect, check who installed Module 7 asterisk. Kareem pulled up the installation logs. The module had been added 14 months ago. Installed by someone with administrative access. The name on the log made his blood freeze. Marcus Chin, VP of Operations, San Francisco asterisk. His own vice president. The man he promoted 3 years ago after he'd streamlined operations and saved the company $8 million. Saved. He hadn't saved anything. He'd stolen it. From people like Rosalie. Kareem closed the laptop. Outside, the sun was setting behind the skeletal remains of construction cranes. The city glowed orange and gray. Beautiful and brutal at the same time. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Silence for 3 seconds. Then breathing. Mr. Valkaran. A woman's voice. Young. Scared. Who is this? My name is Tanisha. I work at your Dallas location. Someone told me you were looking into payroll. Kareem sat up straight. How did you get this number? That doesn't matter. What matters is you need to know they're watching you now. Blaine made a call after you left. They know someone's digging. Who's they? I don't know. But whatever you're planning to do, you need to do it fast. Because if they figure out it's you. She trailed off. They'll bury everything. The line went dead. Kareem sat in the dark car with his heart pounding. He pulled up Blaine's employee file. Stared at the man's smiling professional photo. Then he made a decision. If they wanted to bury everything, he'd make sure the whole world was watching when they tried. But first, he needed proof they couldn't erase. And he knew exactly where to get it. How far would you go to expose the truth? Comment below. The next morning, Kareem walked back into the store. Same hoodie. Same cap. Same invisible man routine. But this time, he wasn't alone. In his pocket was a recording device smaller than a quarter. In his other pocket, a backup phone with a live upload link to a secure server 3,000 miles away. Whatever he captured would exist in multiple places before Blaine could even think about deleting it. The store buzzed with early morning activity. Stalkers moved like ants. Customers drifted through produce. Nobody looked at him. Kareem spotted Rosalie near the back. She was cleaning a spill in aisle 12. On her hands and knees with a bucket and rag, scrubbing the same spot over and over even though it was already clean. Her movements were mechanical. Defeated. When she glanced up and saw him, something flickered in her eyes. Recognition. Fear. Both. She stood quickly, grabbed her bucket, and moved to another aisle. Kareem followed at a distance. She stopped. Turned. You need to leave, she whispered. I'm just shopping. No. You're not. Her voice was urgent. Panicked. Yesterday after you talked to me, they called me into the office. Asked if anyone had been asking questions about payroll. I said no, but, she glanced around. They're watching everyone now. Extra cameras. Managers everywhere. Something's wrong. I know, Kareem said quietly. Then why are you still here? Because I'm going to fix it. She stared at him like he was insane. You can't fix this. You don't understand. This isn't just Blaine. It's... Her words cut off. Blaine appeared at the end of the aisle. He walked toward them with that same calm, measured pace. His smile was already in place by the time he reached them. Everything okay here, Rosalie? She nodded too fast. Yes, Mr. Hargree. Good. His eyes shifted to Kareem. And you, sir? Can I help you find anything? Kareem held up a box of cereal. Just looking. Of course. Blaine's gaze lingered half a second too long. Calculating. Assessing. Then he walked away. Rosalie exhaled like she'd been holding her breath underwater. See, she whispered. They're watching. She hurried off before Kareem could respond. He waited 10 minutes. Then he moved toward the employee break room. The door was propped open. Inside, 3 workers sat at a plastic table eating lunch. Kareem recognized one of them, Deshaun, the stock boy from yesterday. The other 2 were women. One young, maybe 20. The other older, with tired eyes. Kareem knocked on the door frame. They all looked up. Hey, he said. Mind if I ask you something? The younger woman frowned. You're not supposed to be back here. I know. But I'm trying to figure something out. About payroll. Silence. The 3 of them exchanged glances. Deshaun spoke first. Who are you? Someone who thinks you're all getting screwed. The older woman's eyes narrowed. And I want to prove it. More silence. Then the younger woman pulled out her phone. She opened her banking app and turned the screen toward Kareem. See this? He looked. Her last 4 paychecks. Each one slightly smaller than the one before. I work 40 hours a week. Same schedule. Same rate. But every 2 weeks, my check is less. She scrolled down. Started in September. I asked payroll. They said system error. That was 3 months ago. How much are you short? Maybe 300 total. Same, Deshawn said. But I'm down closer to 500. The older woman didn't say anything. She just stared at the table. How much? Kareem asked her. She looked up. 1,200. Maybe more. My daughter has asthma. The prescriptions are expensive. They know that. And right after I asked HR about dependent coverage, she shook her head. My pay started dropping. Kareem felt that cold thing in his chest again. Are there others? A lot, Deshawn said. But nobody talks about it. Because if you complain too much, your hours get cut. Or you get written up for something stupid. Or you just, he made a gesture like something disappearing. Gone. Yeah. Gone. The door behind Kareem opened. Blaine stood there. His smile was gone. Break rooms for employees only. Kareem didn't move. Just asking directions. Sure you were. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Blaine stepped closer. Not threatening. Not aggressive. Just, there. Occupying space in a way that felt like a warning. I don't recognize you, Blaine said slowly. And I know everyone who shops here regularly. First time, Kareem said. Is it? Silence stretched. Blaine's eyes moved from Kareem to the 3 employees. All of them were staring at their hands now. Nobody wanted to be seen. Back to work, Blaine said softly. They left immediately. Kareem started to follow. Blaine caught his arm. Can I see some ID? Kareem's heart hammered. Why? Policy. We've had issues with theft. Loss prevention protocol. Loss prevention. Kareem reached into his pocket slowly. His fingers brushed against the recording device. Still on. Still capturing. He pulled out a fake ID he'd had made 2 days ago. Generic name. Wrong address. Blaine studied it. Then handed it back. Huh. Problem? No, Blaine smiled. But it didn't reach his eyes. Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page here. This is a good store. Good people. We don't need, he paused, choosing his words carefully. Troublemakers. I'm not trouble. Good. Then we understand each other. Kareem walked out. But as he reached the end of the hallway, he glanced back. Blaine was on his phone. Talking to someone. And looking right at him. What's Blaine planning next? Drop your prediction. That night, Kareem sat in a hotel room in Manhattan and listened to the recording 17 times. Blaine's voice. Cold. Methodical. This is a good store. Good people. We don't need troublemakers. Asterisk. Translation, stay quiet or disappear. Kareem had heard that tone before. In boardrooms. In negotiations. The tone of someone who'd never been told no in their life and couldn't imagine a world where consequences applied to them. He pulled up the back-end system again. This time he went deeper. If Marcus Chen in San Francisco had installed Module 7, there had to be communication logs. Emails. Something that showed coordination between the managers who were using it. He found them in an archived server most executives didn't even know existed. Encrypted. But poorly. Someone had assumed nobody would ever look. Kareem broke through in 40 minutes. What he found made his hands shake. Internal messages. Hundreds of them. Going back 18 months. From Marcus Chen asterisk. To regional managers, 12, asterisk. Subject, Efficiency Protocol, Phase 2 asterisk. Gentlemen, attached is the updated flagging algorithm. Expansion targets include single-parent households and anyone with outstanding medical expenses over $5,000. Remember, small deductions only. Nothing that triggers automatic audits. Stay invisible, asterisk. Reply from Blaine. Confirmed. 7 stores in my district running clean. No employee complaints filed with corporate. Estimated monthly recovery, $83K, asterisk. Recovery. They called it recovery. Like they were taking back something that belonged to them. Kareem scrolled through more messages. Miami. Dallas. Through more messages. Miami. Dallas. Los Angeles. Seattle. Boston. San Francisco. All of them running the same system. All of them stealing from the people who could least afford it. And at the bottom of every message chain was one line. Executive approval, authorized, asterisk. Kareem froze. Executive approval? He checked the authorization code. It traced back to someone on the board. A name he recognized. Victor Emerson. Board member for 6 years. Former hedge fund manager. The guy who'd pushed hardest for aggressive cost optimization during last year's strategy meetings. Kareem had thought he meant supply chain. He didn't. He meant people. The door to Kareem's hotel room clicked. He spun around. Nobody there. But the lock was disengaged. Someone had a key card. He grabbed his laptop and moved toward the window just as the door opened. A woman stepped in. Mid-30s. Business suit. Confident. She held up her hands immediately. I'm not here to hurt you. Who the hell are you? My name's Angela Price. I'm an investigative reporter with ProPublica. She pulled out a press badge. Tossed it on the bed. I've been tracking wage theft in retail for 2 years. Your company keeps coming up. Kareem didn't move. How did you find me? Same way you found the theft. I followed the money. She closed the door behind her. I know who you are, Mr. Valkaran. And I know what you're doing. You're trying to expose your own company before it destroys you. Why would it destroy me? Because when this goes public, and it will, the board will throw you under the bus. They'll say you knew. That you authorized it. That you personally profited. She sat down uninvited. Unless you get ahead of it. Kareem's jaw tightened. What do you want? I want the story. And you want proof that survives a legal purge. She pulled a flash drive from her pocket. I've got testimony from 43 employees across 8 states. Payroll records. Bank statements. Everything. Why come to me? Because you're the only one with executive access. The only one who can pull the internal messages that prove this goes to the board level. She leaned forward. They're going to erase everything. Probably in the next 72 hours. Someone tipped them off that you're looking. Who? I don't know. But you need to move fast. Kareem stared at the flash drive. What happens if I give you access? I publish. Federal investigators get involved. And you get to decide whether you're the hero or the villain in this story. Outside, sirens wailed. The city never stopped. Never slowed down. Never cared about the people it crushed along the way. Kareem thought about Rosalie. About her mother. About the $1,200 stolen from a woman whose daughter couldn't breathe without expensive medicine. He thought about every person who'd walked into his stores believing they'd be treated fairly and walked out robbed. He made a decision. He handed Angela the flash drive with everything he'd found. "Publish it," he said. "All of it." She smiled. "You just made a very powerful enemy." "Good." She stood. Walked to the door. Stopped. "One more thing. Blaine made a call tonight. To someone in San Francisco. I couldn't hear everything, but I heard your name." Kareem's blood went cold. "What did he say?" "He said, we have a problem. And we need to handle it before Monday." She left. Kareem stood alone in the hotel room. Monday was 3 days away. What happens Monday? Tell us what you think below. The email arrived at 2:47 a.m. Kareem's phone lit up the dark hotel room. He grabbed it instantly, sleep already gone. From System Administrator *. Subject, Access Violation *. Your executive credentials have been flagged for unauthorized system access. All administrative privileges will be suspended pending internal review. Report to SF headquarters Monday 9 a.m. *. They knew. Kareem sat up. His laptop was still open on the desk, screen dark but ready. He moved to it, fingers already typing before he fully processed what he was doing. Logged in. Access denied. He tried a backup code. Access denied. Every door he'd used to navigate the company's internal systems had been slammed shut in the last 3 hours. His phone buzzed again. Different number. They're scrubbing the servers. Right now. While you're reading this. Angela *. Kareem grabbed his backup phone. Called her. She answered on the first ring. "How much did you get?" he asked. "Everything you gave me. Already uploaded to 3 separate secure servers." Her voice was steady. Calm. Like she'd done this before. "But they're deleting the originals. I've got a source inside IT. They're running a purge protocol on anything related to payroll modifications from the last 2 years. Can they erase what you have?" "No. But they can claim it's fabricated. That you doctored it. That you're a disgruntled owner trying to tank your own company's stock price." She paused. "Unless we have something they can't deny." "Like what?" "Live testimony. Employees willing to go on record. With names. Faces. Bank statements." Kareem paced the room. Outside, the city was finally quiet. Even New York had to breathe sometime. "How many do you have?" 43 willing to talk anonymously. Only 6 willing to go public. They're terrified, Kareem. These people have families. Medical bills. They can't afford to lose their jobs. What if I promise they won't? Can you? Good question. Could he? His own board was about to crucify him. His VP had built a theft machine. His regional managers were stealing from single mothers and nobody had stopped them because the numbers looked good on quarterly reports. What did his promise mean anymore? "I need to see Rosalie," he said. "The woman from the flagship store." "Yeah. Why her?" "Because she's the one who made me look. And if I'm going to burn this whole thing down, she deserves to know why." Angela was quiet for 3 seconds. "Okay. But make it fast. They're going to move on you before Monday. I'd bet money on it." She hung up. Kareem checked the time. 3 a.m. The flagship store opened at 6. He had 3 hours. He grabbed his laptop, his phone, and the fake ID that wouldn't work much longer. Walked out of the hotel room and into the cold December night. Had been slammed shut in the last 3 hours. His phone buzzed again. Different number. They're scrubbing the servers. Right now. While you're reading this. Angela asterisk. Kareem grabbed his backup phone. Called her. She answered on the first ring. How much did you get? He asked. Everything you gave me. Already uploaded to 3 separate secure servers. Her voice was steady. Calm. Like she'd done this before. But they're deleting the originals. I've got a source inside IT. They're running a purge protocol on anything related to payroll modifications from the last 2 years. Can they erase what you have? No. But they can claim it's fabricated. That you doctored it. That you're a disgruntled owner trying to tank your own company's stock price. She paused. Unless we have something they can't deny. Like what? Live testimony. Employees willing to go on record. With names. Faces. Bank statements. Kareem paced the room. Outside, the city was finally quiet. Even New York had to breathe sometime. How many do you have? 43 willing to talk anonymously. Only 6 willing to go public. They're terrified, Kareem. These people have families. Medical bills. They can't afford to lose their jobs. What if I promise they won't? Can you? Good question. Could he? His own board was about to crucify him. His VP had built a theft machine. His regional managers were stealing from single mothers and nobody had stopped them because the numbers looked good on quarterly reports. What did his promise mean anymore? I need to see Rosalie, he said. The woman from the flagship store. Yeah. Why her? Because she's the one who made me look. And if I'm going to burn this whole thing down, she deserves to know why. Angela was quiet for 3 seconds. Manhattan before dawn was a different animal. Garbage trucks rumbled through empty streets. A few taxis cruised for late-night fares. Steam rose from subway grates like the city was exhaling ghosts. Kareem walked 12 blocks before he spotted what he needed. A 24-hour copy shop. Inside, a tired college kid sat behind the counter watching something on his phone. I need to print something, Kareem said. A lot of somethings. The kid didn't even look up. Printers in the back. 50 cents a page. Kareem moved to the machine. Pulled up every file Angela had sent him. Employee testimonies. Bank records. Internal emails. The full architecture of the theft system. He printed 400 pages. Then he bound them into packets. 50 copies total. When he walked out, dawn was starting to break. Gray light crept between buildings. The city was waking up. Kareem headed toward the flagship store. When he arrived, the lights were already on inside. He could see movement through the windows. Early morning stalkers. Cleaning crew. Security guard doing rounds. And near the back, barely visible through the shelves, was Rosalie. She was mopping the floor with the same defeated rhythm he'd seen before. Slow. Mechanical. Like she was trying to erase herself along with the dirt. Kareem waited until the security guard walked past. Then he knocked on the loading dock door. 30 seconds later, it cracked open. Deshaun stood there, eyes wide. You again. I need to talk to Rosalie. Man, are you crazy? Blaine's looking for you. Like actually looking. He told everyone if they see some guy in a gray hoodie asking questions, call him immediately. I know. That's why I need to talk to her now. Deshaun glanced over his shoulder. If he catches you. He won't. That was a lie and they both knew it. Deshawn hesitated. Then opened the door wider. 5 minutes. Loading dock. I'll get her. Kareem stepped inside. The store smelled like floor cleaner and cardboard. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. In the distance, he could hear the beep of price scanners being tested, the rattle of shopping carts, the low murmur of morning prep. Footsteps approached. Rosalie appeared from behind a stack of pallets. When she saw him, she stopped cold. You need to leave, she whispered urgently. Right now. I need you to listen first. No. You don't understand. They know someone's investigating. They're asking questions. Looking at camera footage. If they see me talking to you. I know what they're doing, Rosalie. All of it. He pulled one of the printed packets from his bag. Handed it to her. This is proof. Proof they've been stealing from you. From hundreds of people. For almost 2 years. She stared at the packet like it was radioactive. What is this? Everything. The system they built. How it works. How much they took. Who authorized it? He pointed to a page. That's your payroll record. See? Right there. They flagged you as high vulnerability because of your mother's medical expenses. Then they reduced your wages by 15%. Automatically. Every paycheck. Her hands started shaking. $4,000, Kareem said quietly. That's how much they stole from you. She looked up. Tears were already forming. Why? Because they could. Because the system let them. Because people like you don't have lawyers or unions or anyone watching out for them. His voice hardened. Because they thought nobody would ever check. She flipped through the pages. Her breathing got faster. It says my manager authorized it. Blaine did this? He's one of 12. There are managers in Miami, Dallas, Los Angeles, Seattle, Boston, all running the same con. Oh my God. I'm shutting it down. But I need people willing to go on record. To testify. To show the world what happened. She looked up at him, fear clear in her eyes. Who are you? Kareem hesitated. Then he pulled off his cap. My name is Kareem Valkaran. I own this company. And I'm about to destroy everyone who turned it into this. The color drained from her face. Behind them, a door slammed. Both of them spun around. Blaine stood at the entrance to the loading dock. He wasn't smiling anymore. Well, he said softly. Isn't this interesting? What happens next? Comment your predictions and subscribe so you don't miss the explosive confrontation in Chapter 7. Hit that notification bell, this story is about to go nuclear. Blaine walked forward slowly. Not rushed. Not panicked. Just calm. Like he'd been expecting this. Mr. Valkaran, he said. Or should I say, our mystery shopper. Kareem didn't move. Rosalie backed up, clutching the packet against her chest. I have to admit, you had me confused for a bit. Blaine's eyes never left Kareem's face. Random guy asking questions. Poking around employee files. Talking to my staff. He smiled. But then I checked the security footage from my office. And I realized something. He pulled out his phone. Showed Kareem a grainy image. It was him. Standing at Blaine's desk. Hand on the computer mouse. Interesting, right? Because that computer requires biometric access to unlock certain files. And guess whose thumbprint signature showed up in the system logs? Kareem's jaw tightened. So I did some digging. And you know what I found? Blaine tilted his head. Our founder. The man who built this company. The billionaire who lives in a penthouse in San Francisco and hasn't set foot in a store in 3 years, suddenly decides to play dress up. You're stealing from your employees, Kareem said evenly. I'm optimizing operational efficiency. There's a difference. $4,000 from a woman whose mother is dying. That's optimization. Blaine glanced at Rosalie. His expression didn't change. Miss Fermin. You should go back to work. She didn't move. Now. His voice dropped 10 degrees. Rosalie looked at Kareem. Then back at Blaine. Her hands were shaking so hard the papers rattled. Go, Kareem said quietly. It's okay. She ran. The second she was gone, Blaine's mask dropped completely. You have no idea what you're doing, he said. Do you think you're the hero here? Coming in undercover. Exposing corruption. He laughed. You approved this system. I never approved. Module 7 was installed with executive authorization codes. Your codes. Marcus Chen submitted the proposal. Victor Emerson pushed it through the board. And you signed off on aggressive cost reduction measures without asking what that meant. Blaine stepped closer. So when this goes public, and it won't, but let's pretend, who do you think takes the fall? The regional manager following orders? Or the CEO who authorized a system he never bothered to understand? Kareem felt ice in his veins. You're lying. Am I? Blaine pulled up something on his phone. Turned it around. It was an email. Sent 18 months ago. From, Kareem Valkaran *. To, Executive Board *. Subject, Operational Efficiency Proposal, Approved *. Proceed with implementation. Quarterly cost reduction targets remain priority *. Kareem stared at it. He remembered that email. Vaguely. He'd been in back-to-back meetings all day. Marcus had sent him a summary, something about payroll automation upgrades. He'd skimmed it. Signed off. He'd never read the details. That was supposed to streamline scheduling, Kareem said slowly. And it did. Along with a few other features Marcus thought would help the bottom line. Features you authorized. Blaine pocketed his phone. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to walk out of here. Delete whatever you downloaded. And forget this ever happened. Because if you don't, I'll make sure every prosecutor, every journalist, every employee knows you personally signed off on the system that robbed them. I'll tell them the truth. The truth? Blaine laughed. The truth is you're a billionaire who got rich while your employees got poor. Nobody's going to believe you didn't know. Nobody's going to care that you feel bad about it now. He leaned in. You want to be the hero? You're 20 years too late. Kareem's fists clenched. Blaine saw it. Go ahead. Hit me. Give me one more thing to charge you with. Somewhere in the store, a walkie-talkie crackled. Voices echoed. Kareem pulled out his phone. What are you doing? Blaine asked. Calling the police. On yourself? On you. For wage theft. Fraud. Embezzlement. Take your pick. Blaine moved fast. Grabbed Kareem's wrist. You're not calling anyone. The two men stood frozen for 3 seconds. Then Kareem twisted free. Stepped back. You're done, Kareem said quietly. All of you. I don't care what it costs me. It'll cost you everything. Good. Kareem walked toward the exit. Wait. He stopped. Blaine's voice had changed. Softer now. Almost desperate. They'll dismantle you. Marcus. Victor. The board. They'll leak stories. Tank your stock. Paint you as unstable. By the time they're done, you won't own anything. He paused. But if you walk away now, this stays buried. You keep your company. Your reputation. Your wealth. Everybody wins. Kareem turned around slowly. Everybody. Everybody who matters. Kareem stared at him. This man who smiled while destroying people. Who optimized suffering. Who thought money made him untouchable. You're wrong, Kareem said. About who matters. He walked out. Behind him, Blaine pulled out his phone. Made a call. It's me. We have a problem. He's not backing down. The voice on the other end was cold. Professional. Then we move to phase 2. Meaning? Meaning he's about to have a very public breakdown. I'll send you the files. Release them Monday morning. By noon, he won't have a company to expose. Blaine smiled. Understood. Will Kareem survive the takedown? Drop your thoughts and subscribe now. Chapter 8 drops next and you do not want to miss what happens when everything explodes. Turn on notifications. By Sunday afternoon, Kareem's life was already being erased. He sat in his apartment in San Francisco staring at his phone as notifications flooded in. The board had called an emergency meeting. Without him. 3 major investors had requested immediate calls. None of them were taking his. His executive assistant had resigned via email. No explanation. And across every major financial news site, the same story was appearing. Orex CEO Kareem Valkaran under investigation for financial misconduct, *. Sources say billionaire founder misused company funds, *. Internal whistleblower claims Valkaran approved wage theft system, *. They'd done it. While he'd been gathering evidence, they'd been building his grave. His phone rang. Angela. Are you seeing this? She asked. Yeah. It's coordinated. Every story has the same source, an anonymous board member. They're saying you installed the payroll system yourself. That you pocketed the stolen wages through offshore accounts. She paused. They're good, Kareem. Really good. Can you prove it's false? I can prove the system exists. I can prove employees were robbed. But proving you didn't authorize it. She exhaled. That's harder. Because technically, you did sign off on the operational efficiency proposal. They're using your own signature against you. Kareem closed his eyes. He'd been so focused on exposing them, he hadn't realized they'd been setting him up the whole time. What do I do? He asked quietly. You fight. But not alone. I'm publishing tonight. Everything. The full investigation. Employee testimonies. Internal emails. The works. They'll say it's fake. Let them. Because I've got something they don't know about. What? Rosalia's going on record. Her face. Her name. Her story. And she's not alone anymore. Kareem sat up. What? After you left the store yesterday, something happened. Deshawn told the other employees what was going on. And they started talking. Comparing paychecks. Sharing stories. By this morning, I had 27 people willing to go public. By noon, it was 53. Her voice grew stronger. They're done being scared, Kareem. You gave them proof. Now they're giving you an army. He felt something crack open in his chest. Where are they? New York. We're holding a press conference tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. Federal Plaza. Employees from 8 different states. All of them ready to tell their stories. The board will try to stop it. They can try. But they can't stop 53 people from telling the truth on live television. Kareem stood. Walked to the window. San Francisco stretched out below him. The city where he'd built everything. Where he'd believed hard work and fairness were enough. How naive. "I'm coming to New York," he said. "Bad idea. They'll arrest you the second you land." "For what? Does it matter?" "They'll manufacture something. Obstruction. Fraud. Violation of fiduciary duty. Whatever keeps you quiet until they can control the narrative. Then I'll make sure the narrative's already out there." He hung up. Opened his laptop. Narrative's already out there. He hung up. Opened his laptop. And started recording. The video was 12 minutes long. No script. No editing. Just Kareem sitting in his apartment, looking directly into the camera, and telling the truth. He explained the anonymous email. The undercover investigation. What he'd found in the payroll system. The managers who'd profited. The board member who'd authorized it. And his own failure. "I signed a document I didn't read," he said. "I trusted people I should have questioned. I built a company on the belief that treating people fairly would make us successful. And then I stopped paying attention to whether we were actually doing that." His voice cracked. "I'm not the victim here. The people who lost their wages are. The single mothers who couldn't pay for medicine. The workers who picked up extra shifts and got robbed for it. They're the ones who matter." He leaned forward. "Tomorrow morning, 53 of those people are going to stand in front of cameras and tell you what happened. And when they do, I want you to listen. Not to me. To them. Because they're the ones who paid the price for my negligence." He paused. "And to the people who built this system, who thought they could hide behind lawyers and offshore accounts and corporate structures, I'm coming for you. All of you. With everything I have left." He stopped recording. Uploaded it to every platform he could think of. Twitter. YouTube. LinkedIn. Instagram. Then he called his lawyer. "I need you to file something," he said. "Tonight." "File what?" "A lawsuit. Against my own company. Against the board. Against every regional manager who used that payroll system. I want full transparency. Every document. Every email. Every line of code. Public record." His lawyer was quiet for a long moment. "That'll destroy the company." "I know. It'll destroy you too." "I know. Kareem. Do it." He hung up. His phone immediately started ringing. Unknown numbers. Blocked calls. Texts from people he hadn't spoken to in years. He ignored all of them. Instead, he booked a flight to New York. Red eye. Leaving in 4 hours. He packed a single bag. Grabbed the printed evidence packets. And walked out of his apartment. At the airport, security flagged him immediately. 2 TSA agents pulled him aside. "Sir, we need you to come with us." "Why?" "There's a hold on your ticket. Federal." Kareem's heart sank. They escorted him to a private room. Made him wait. 20 minutes later, a woman in a dark suit walked in. "FBI. Mr. Valkerin. I'm Special Agent Hendricks. We need to ask you some questions about financial irregularities at Orex Global Retail. I'm the one who reported them. We're aware. But we've received conflicting information. Some allegations suggest you were directly involved in the wage theft scheme. That's a lie." "Maybe. But until we sort it out, you're not getting on that plane." She placed a file on the table. Inside were documents. Emails. Transaction records. All of them with his name on them. All of them fabricated. "You're being set up," he said quietly. "By who?" "The people I'm trying to expose." She stared at him. "That's convenient. Check the metadata. Check the server logs. Those documents were created in the last 48 hours. We will. But that takes time. And in the meantime, you're staying in San Francisco." She left. Kareem sat alone in the interrogation room. Outside, his phone buzzed. A text from Angela. "They're blocking you. But the employees are still moving forward. Press conference happens with or without you. Hold on, asterisk." He leaned back. Closed his eyes. And realized he'd underestimated just how far they'd go to bury the truth. But so had they. Because while they were focused on stopping him, 53 people were about to step into the light. And once they did, there'd be no going back. What will the employees reveal? Comment below and smash that subscribe button. Chapter 9 is the moment everything changes. You need to see this. Notifications on. Monday morning. 9 a.m. Federal Plaza, New York City. News cameras lined the steps. Reporters jostled for position. Curious onlookers gathered at the edges, phones out, recording. And standing at the center of it all, in a line that stretched 15 people wide, were the employees of Orex Global Retail. Rosalie stood in the front row. Hands clasped. Eyes red but steady. Next to her, Deshaun. Tanisha from Dallas. An older man named Jerome from Seattle. A young woman named Keisha from Miami. People from Los Angeles, Boston, Washington, D.C. All of them wearing their work uniforms. All of them holding printed bank statements. Behind them, Angela Price stood with a microphone. The cameras went live. "Good morning. My name is Angela Price, investigative reporter with ProPublica. Behind me are 53 employees of Orex Global Retail. Over the last 18 months, they've been systematically robbed by their own employer through an automated payroll system that targeted the most vulnerable workers in the company." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. These workers. Many of them single parents, many with sick family members, many living paycheck to paycheck, had their wages reduced by an average of 12% without their knowledge or consent. The stolen money was funneled into bonus accounts controlled by regional managers. She gestured to the employees. "They're here today to tell their stories. And to demand accountability." Rosalie stepped forward. Her hands were shaking. But her voice was clear. "My name is Rosalie Fermin. I've worked for Orex for 6 years. I've never been late. Never missed a shift. Never caused problems." She paused. "My mother has kidney disease. She needs dialysis 3 times a week. It's expensive. So I picked up extra hours. Worked overnight shifts. Did everything I was supposed to do." She held up a piece of paper. Just how far they'd go to bury the truth. But so had they. Because while they were focused on stopping him, 53 people